I was talking with a friend who just came back from the Hollywood scene. He was able to direct a movie and was there down at its premiere, mingling with actors, directors, a lot of influential people in the scene down in Hollywood. And he came back kind of depressed. While he was there, he'd gone to visit with a friend and a veteran actor who was probably on his deathbed in the hospital, probably not going to come out of the condition he was in, withering away. And when they got there, a couple of my friends, both of them Christians, realized that there were no cards, no flowers, that no one, including relatives, had visited this man with an incredible resume. If you knew his name, and I'll kindly refrain from using it, but if you'd gone to imdb.com and looked up this man, you'd be like, oh my gosh, how could he not have scores of people just littering the lobby of the hospital with flowers and cards and fond wishes and prayers and visitation. And it was tragic to think that just nobody cared because he was no longer relevant, no longer loved, no more entourage, no more directors, no more people in there. It really left him jaded toward being involved in the industry. And I think about that. I think about when we watch the credits of a film roll, celebrities in some ways being our new authorities. They're our icons. They're people our culture looks up to. Do we pray for them in the same way we're called to pray for those in power, like our president, like our leaders, like our church leaders? Do we pray? Do we take the time when the credits roll to maybe pray for all the people involved in what can sometimes be a vacuous and a hollow environment? We think they've got the cash, they've got everybody's attention. But I remember being in the theater scene, and there is always a desperation for this surface level attention and recognition, because that's going to fuel your next project. That's how you're going to survive. It's more about survival than it is about any true satisfaction. I was thinking about Isaiah 55, where God says, why do you spend your money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which does not satisfy? He goes on to say, incline your ear and come to me, hear, that your soul may live, and I will make with you an everlasting covenant. I think about the relationship we have through Jesus Christ. I think about Jesus' people and the real relationship and investment that a true church has. And I think about how absent that is from the Hollywood scene, as my friend discovered. Do we start with prayer? Can we just start praying for these people instead of leaving the theater when the credits are over? Maybe just saying prayer for everybody involved in this industry. And then for those of us who are called into that field, can we be more intentional about our relationships? Can we actually be involved in these people's lives in such a way so that they don't have to gasp out their last hours on a bed all alone, realizing everything was hollow and unsatisfactory, that they can know that there's someone who loves them presently and someone that they can go home to spend eternity with? That would be my hope for Hollywood, is that there could be a real light and not just the light of the celluloid as the credits roll. The light of Jesus Christ and the gospel shining in there. Maybe it's something to think and pray about, even if it begins with just our prayer instead of just our movie consumption. Maybe there's something each of us can do to begin to love God and love our neighbor being those producing works of art that we consume sometimes on a weekly or daily basis in our homes. We shouldn't forget them or treat them like objects on a screen. We should pray for them like people, image bearers of God, no matter how distorted. It's something to think about and pray about.